meat bashing going on here and abroad. Mostly it's in the academic areas of the world saying that meat is really bad for climate change. It's really bad for a lot of other things. There's water use, land use. But the thing is, meat is bad when it's grown in a feedlot. Like, that is bad. It's bad on every account. So it kind of comes back to the sustainability question, like what kind of sustainability are we talking about? Are we talking about economic sustainability or ecologic sustainability? And I agree with the last speaker here with I'm more concerned about ecological sustainability than economic sustainability. I actually have a degree in economics. I think it's a man-made bunch of crap. And all I care about is ecology because that's the only thing that's real. So in Tasmania, we have a heck of a lot of rolling land and steep land that should never be cultivated. And so like when you're proposing that everybody eat grain and vegetables, what that does is that it makes people want to go out and till the soil. And tilling the soil, it actually has, and some people are arguing this now, has far more like overreaching effects on the climate change effects, like carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, than does burning fossil fuels. Like if you look at the ecology that I came from Minnesota just like 2 weeks ago, the land that I was standing on then had, before white people came along and tilled it up, was 12 to 15% organic matter. Now the average organic matter in that area is around 1.5 to 2%. Now you extrapolate that out over the tens of millions of hectares in that region alone, and you're talking about quantities of carbon dioxide that make, the Industrial Revolution look small in comparison. So when we talk about what is the sustainable diet, I think we have to look at how do we re-perennialize our diet. And annual agriculture, sure, it does have a lot of energy density and it allows us to be living in cities like this. But is it sustainable? I would argue no. Organics in general, like I try to choose organics too if I have to buy food, but like an organic farmer doesn't necessarily sequester carbon. I know I've been all over the world seeing organic farms and non-organic farms. You can go to an organic farm that uses the exact same equipment as a non-organic farm. They're just not spraying chemicals. That doesn't mean that they're sequestering carbon. They're oxidizing just as much carbon as the next guy. So annual agriculture, I would argue, is the white elephant in the room that nobody's talking about. What is a sustainable diet for Tasmania? I would actually argue, I'm going to go really far out and say that if you actually looked at eating things that you were getting rid of the things that had the most impact on the ecology, we would actually be eating other people. That's not legal. So I would actually argue then that the next thing is we've got a bajillion small marsupials here in Tasmania that make it almost impossible to grow anything else. Where we're living in Gordon right now, you walk out at any time during dusk and it's like 1,000 little wallabies jumping around. And we came from a place where we were growing cattle and pigs and chickens and turkeys. Now we just club a wallaby on the head and eat it. We've got a possum in the fridge right now because they're trying to eat everything else that we're growing. So what does a sustainable diet in Tasmania look like? It probably looks like a lot of vegetables grown on areas that aren't going to erode. It's going to be growing vegetables in a way that you're rotating cover crops and you're keeping that soil covered as much as humanly possible. It's also going to look like eating a lot of nuts and other perennial foods that you plant once and you harvest over and over and over again. But as far as the trophic loss of, when I eat an herbivore, I only get 10%. Well, that's right. But if we concentrate on energy cycling, if that cow happens to be grazing on marginal land that I can't cultivate anyway, then if I eat that cow and also put all of the waste product, and there is no waste in ecology, but if I put all the product that I don't consume back on that land, and I even go to the extreme like I do, ooh, heaven forbid, that I actually take my humanure and put that back on the land, you know, putting all of that energy recycling back onto the soil, then you're kind of inching towards sustainability on an ecological level. And to be honest, because I've just had this brought up to me to come and speak to you about half hour ago, I haven't really thought of much more to say. I'm probably just going to end it there. And I'll wait for questions, because I really appreciate questions. But yes, thank you.
Thanks for that. That was brilliant.